Hey guys, welcome back to SkyTalksBooks. My name is Sky and I talk about books, you know? This is my Booktube Newbie Tag. First question, why did you start this channel? Great question. Why do we do anything? You know what I mean? Everything's pointless, so we're starting from that. But on a less philosophical note, honestly it was just so that I didn't bore people in my real life by talking about books. Because I am a very obsessive person. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two, I want sort of a visual documentation for myself of my reading journey. And, you know, talking about books helps me to absorb the material like a sponge. Next question, what do you bring to Booktube? Okay, it's starting to feel like a job interview now. What do I bring? Okay, so a lot of booktubers, you know, they have been like reading for a long time before they start their Booktube channel. For me, not so much. I really heavily properly got into reading and becoming a bookworm at the start of 2022. And so I think I bring something unique in that I haven't quite like found my niche yet, my taste, and so you guys will get to discover that with me as we go. And, you know, I'm gonna be exploring a lot of genres for the first time. I also don't really want to just do like TBRs, wrap-ups, hauls. I want to get a little bit more creative, maybe do some video essays. But, you know, there's only one way to find out what I bring to Booktube, and that is to subscribe. So, what are you most excited for? Why did I turn Australian? Question number three, what are you most excited for? Like in life, or I suppose just, these questions are quite confusing. Okay, I took a test today. The Ultimate Well-Read List Challenge. And I did poorly. In the bottom 9%, actually. I had read something like 12 of the 250 books. And some people might be discouraged by that. But I am very excited. Like, there's so many books that I want to read that, you know, if I was to read every moment of every day until the day I die, I still wouldn't get to them all. And that kind of fills me with the same excitement as when I was a kid and I was collecting Pokemon stickers and I was putting them into the album. It's kind of like being a collector. And I don't necessarily mean book collector, because I'm definitely not going to buy every book physically, but just collecting them in my mind. Yeah, I'm just very excited to read. And also just like tap into my creative side more, because that is definitely a side that kind of got like eaten up by consumerism and capitalism. But that could be a good video essay. Question 4, why do you like reading? Honestly, it gives me a sense of purpose and fulfillment that I don't get from anything else. Obviously, there's the escapism element of it, the entertainment element of it. More than that, like, I know it sounds dramatic, but it kind of saved my life. Definitely changed my life. You know, I am someone who has been prone to the case of the old not necessarily wanting to be alive all of the time. Then I was like, wow, like my TBR is so long, I gotta stick around. Also, I'm realizing it could have been the pills. It could have been medication also that saved my life. A combination of medication, therapy, and reading. Let's say that. Are my answers depressing? I don't know. What challenges will be the hardest to overcome? Just staying consistent, I guess. What got you into reading? So, this is a complicated answer. The Kardashians is actually what got me into reading. Let me explain. So, last year, like towards the end of last year, I decided to like watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians from the beginning. And it's pretty much what I spent most of my time doing. That or being on TikTok. And I could feel my brain just turning to sludge. And I was losing more and more of myself every day. And I was like, look, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna have to read. And it was something that I wasn't looking forward to. I was like, I'm gonna have to read books. And I was like, look, I'll read business books because, you know, because it'll help me in my career and blah, blah, blah. And then I was having a conversation with my bestie, and I was just saying like, oh, like, I just want us to buy mansions, like, right next to each other and have, like, dinner parties. And she was like, oh, that's very Gatsby. And I was like, I have never read it. I've never seen it. And she's like, what? Well, like, you know, and she knew that I wanted to get into reading. And she's like, you have to read it. And I was like, nah, I'm not smart enough. It'll be boring. And she pretty much forced me to read it. She brought me into her cellar. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know you had a cellar. And she blindfolded me. And then I was like, how am I going to read the book if I'm blindfolded? And she's like, okay, fair enough. But she didn't take the gun away from my head for even a second. I later found out the gun had no bullets. But yeah, still, she held me captive until I read The Great Gatsby, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. It was the start of my love affair with the classics. And then after that, she recommended me The Yellow Wallpaper. I loved that. So for a while, I kind of depended on her a lot for recommendations. And then I sort of branched out and kind of found my own books that I wanted to read. You know, I read Norwegian Wood. Okay, that was because it was Harry Styles' favorite book, but you know, that started me down the road of Japanese translated fiction. Yeah, I mean, before that, I wouldn't even call myself a casual reader. I maybe read like one book a year. But before that, when I was a teenager, I was definitely more of a reader. I would just reread my favorite books. I'm actually going to be doing a video very soon about rereading my favorite books from when I was a teenager and seeing if they still stand up to the test of time. Where do you read? Like, I don't know, just in bed, on the couch, sometimes outside if the weather permits. That's it. Nowhere very exotic. I don't know. Or I guess in my friend's cellar when she kidnaps me and forces me to read a book. What kind of books do you like to read? Well, I think I've covered this a little bit. A bit of everything, honestly. So I go through phases where I just want to read the classics, or I just want to read modern classics. Or sometimes I go through phases where I want to read horror. Like, I did go through a huge just literary fiction phase, you know, sad girl books. I would say the genre that I'm least familiar with is maybe fantasy and sci-fi. So I'm hoping to get more into fantasy and sci-fi. So guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I don't know how to say goodbye. There's the dog out here. She usually kind of does that for me. Come here. Come here.